go. You're currently live. We're waiting for the countdown, so like I said, guys, you can talk if you want. Oh, that's another. Oh, I didn't do time. Oh, 2 minutes before the podcast starts. So it's have a little countdown. The podcast starts in 2 minutes. So if you guys want to check it out on live, you can do that right now. It should be up. I'm double checking myself. Yep, it's on. Currently live. We're waiting for the countdown, so that's another. Oh. All right, guys, 10 seconds. What's going on, guys? We are here live on Facebook. How you guys doing? I'm your host, Ron Jones. We got a good slew of guys today, man. I am so excited. We got our mock draft 2020, and I'm ready to do this, guys. What's up, man? Lamarcus, how you doing, man?
Doing great, man. What's up, man? Let's get drafted.
Let's go get this draft going. If you guys don't know, Lamarcus was on RPO a few times with us also. So, welcome back to the podcast, Lamarcus. Next, we got my man Tom Stone. What's going on, Tom?
What's going on, guys? Just looking forward to getting this started. This is how it's going to be tomorrow night, too. Nobody's going to be putting hats on and stuff. It's probably going to be virtual like this.
Quarantine edition.
Yeah.
If you guys know Tom's been on our podcast as well a couple times. So go make sure you go back and check out our old podcast. You see Tom's a really good guy. He knows a lot of football. You guys all know my man, Ray Roberts. What's up, Ray?
Hey, Ray.
Ray is ready with his jersey. He's been ready since birth, man. Look at him. He's just ready. Man, I'm so excited. We're gonna go right into this, man, because we can't wait any longer. Like tomorrow's the after draft. We got today the mock draft. I'm so excited to do this. So we're gonna just jump right into it with pick number 1 overall. So Tom is on the clock. GM Tom Stone. Tom, are you going to take the whole 2 minutes, or you're going to take your pick right now? We already kind of know who you're going to get, but who you got? You might switch up on this. What's up?
No, I would try to have some integrity to the draft and predict what the Bengals would do and what I would do, because I'm more of a risk taker because I don't own a franchise, so I have no repercussions. But I would select number 1. The Cincinnati Bengals will take Joe Burrow. I think he's a no-brainer for them. I think he's got the least flaws. He's the most polished, I think, of the group, and I think you can't mess up the pick. I think he's going to be a really good player, and I just think the offensive talent around him, with A.J. Green, if he comes back healthy, and Tyler Boyd and Joe Mixon, I think the Bengals will have a pretty solid offensive core if Burrow can get off to a good start. So, Joe Burrow, number 1.
I like it. So, guys, what you guys think? Lamarcus, what do you think about that pick?
It's definitely one of the better picks. I mean, it could have been him or Justin Herbert. Chase Young, looking for a quarterback. I think Joe Burrow is the right pick to make. All this quarterback, honestly.
Yes, sir. Ray, what do you think?
I mean, obvious pick. Joe Burrow put up like crazy, unheard of numbers this year. So, I mean, the only thing that scares you about it is 1 year where he was the supreme talent. Last year was not as good a player, but it just looked like he just developed that quickly over 1 year. And you can't argue with the stats, man. 60 touchdowns, 65 total. You just can't argue. National title, so he did everything right, it seemed like. So
Definitely. It's definitely the consensus pick. It's the boring pick, but it should happen. It needs to happen. But again, you never know. It's the 2017 draft, and everything's going wacky.
2020.
Whoa.
2020.
Oh, I'm living in the past.
2017 was 3 years ago. I mean, at my age, I'm always willing to go back 3 years. I'm not going to lie about it. Yeah. But let's just stay where we're at.
All right, let's stay where we're at. 2020. I'm sorry, guys. But, oh, man. But, yeah, the consensus pick, I think, is the best pick right now. You never know, though. We got the quarantine going on.
Who do you want to start?
Go ahead, Tom. I'm sorry.
Chase Young's an absolute monster, and I think he's going to be better than both of the Bosa brothers. So watch out, NFC East.
Yeah, I'm not going to like that.
I know.
LaMarcus, what do you think, man?
Chase Young I definitely think he could be better than the Bosa brothers, if not better than Nick Bosa right now. But I think it's a great pick. He's going to be a dominant force day one.
For sure. All right, and Ray, what do you think?
Best player in the draft, man. No question about it. Yeah. Stud for 2 years now, and guy's got it all. He's got the athleticism, plays at a big-time program, everything. So.
Yeah. All right. Now we're going to go to a third.
I know you don't like doing that Ohio State stuff, but that's okay.
You see what hat I'm wearing, and you see Tom's shirt right there. We're not liking this pick right now. We're both Eagles fans, too. So we really don't like it.
Again, I do understand, but best player in the draft, so can't go wrong.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
What does that situation look like?
Say that again?
Quarterback situation.
Dwayne Haskins. I mean, it's gonna have to be Dwayne Haskins. They got Chase.
It's him now for sure.
Yeah, they got Kyle Allen rather. They got Kyle Allen to back him up too. So, I mean, I'm not saying Kyle Allen is a great starter either, but you got somebody just in case he does not do well. So you never know. And Ron Rivera loved Kyle Allen apparently, and that was his rookie year last year too. So either one, you got both of them on our second year. So you never know. All right. Pick number 3, Mr. Ray Roberts got the Detroit Lions. You are on the clock, Ray.
Well, I honestly think that Detroit will probably wind up trying to, if not trading down tomorrow night. But I want to go with their biggest need, Jeffrey Okudah. They need a corner to replace Darius Slay. He's basically the best corner in the draft. It's a little high for him. He's more along like from 6 to 10. But if I had to take the pick for the Lions, I'm going to take him. So,
all right. Let's say LaMarcus. What do you think about that pick?
I mean, it's a good pick. I mean, solid. Definitely a need. Definitely a need.
He's like, All right, Tom. What do you think?
I mean, I agree with Ray. I mean, and LaMarcus is a good pick. He's the best corner in the draft. Detroit needs a corner. Mm-hmm. You got to take the best one if you need him. If he's there and Chase Young's gone, then you got to take Okudah.
Yeah, like Ray said, I think they're gonna either try to trade down or something because, first of all, I think a quarterback's probably gonna go in that slot right there. Second, I just think number 3 to get Okudah a little rich. You might want to drop down maybe like 2 or 3 spots, and you can still get Okudah. So that's what I think. All right, Mr. LaMarcus is on the clock for the first time. He is ready. He got the New York Giants. He got like almost the whole NFC East, by the way, except for the Redskins. Yeah. So I don't know how that worked, but it worked out somehow. So go ahead, LaMarcus, give us your pick.
So I'm gonna start off my drafting strong. I didn't think he was gonna drop this low. I mean, maybe, but I definitely think he's first overall pick caliber up there with Chase Young. a lot of teams have been kind of, confused as to where he could potentially play. But, pound for pound, he's the most athletic person in the draft. He's the most elite defender in this draft. And, I think that he'll anchor the Giants defense for a long time. And Isaiah Simmons, I'm picking Isaiah Simmons, and he can drop down the outside linebacker. He can play on the back end. He could be a middle rover. He can even be an inside linebacker if he wanted to. So, it's a lot of places that he can fit. And so I think with Jabril Peppers back there and a lot of those young guys on the secondary, he can fit in kind of anywhere as an add-on rover player. So my first pick would be Isaiah Simmons out of Clemson.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. It makes sense for the Giants to do that. I just don't want to see Simmons and daggone Chase Young in our division. Like, what's going on, guys? Man, y'all giving them too many good picks. Ray, what do you think about that pick, Ray?
Well, I love it. I mean, I honestly thought about going with Isaiah Simmons with Detroit. I just didn't see it as much of a need as corner. That's all.
No, and I agree with LaMarcus that I had Isaiah Simmons ranked number one. He's in my. He's one, and Chase Young was two. I mean, teams need quarterbacks, so they take quarterbacks. But if I had the number one pick in the draft, I would have taken Isaiah Simmons. I just think he's the best player in the draft, and we're going to look back in 5 years and be like, man, this dude's a monster.
Definitely.
He can do everything.
Yeah, he's versatile. He could do everything. You can pin him in any spot. He's like a bigger James Darwin James. It's like a bigger Darwin James, and it's just you put him in the field. Literally, you can mess up an offense because they don't know what position he's gonna play. You can move him around. You can confuse them, and it's just gonna be he makes the defensive life a lot better, I think. So, unfortunately, he's going to the Giants.
Yeah.
Yeah. Real quick before we go to our next pick, guys, thank you for being in the chat room. I am checking out the chat room. I thank each and every one of you for being in there. We got some guys asking some questions. I'm not going to get too much into this because we don't want to be here drafting all night. But Darren was asking, was there trades? There are no trades in this draft. It will get way too complicated. We're going to keep it like it is. Trades would have been fun, but maybe next year. But this year,
we can do it.
Next year we can do it. But this year, it would have been way too much. So, I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody in here. What's up, Avery? What's up? Let's see if anybody else I know in here. What's up, Michael? What's up with everybody? I'm picking up names I know, but what's up, everybody? Who's everybody?
Who's that dude that messed with Ray every Wednesday? That was always the Ohio State fan. Who's that? What's that dude's name?
I've not heard from him in a while.
Remy.
Yeah, Remy disappeared. I don't know what's going on, Remy. Shout out to Remy if he's in here. What's up, Remy? Say hello if he sees us, man. Appreciate that. All right, we're gonna go to our next pick, and it's number 5. He got the Miami Dolphins. Now that's Ray's team, so be careful because he might jump into your screen and strangle you. So, Tom, who are you picking for the Miami Dolphins at number 5?
For number 5 for the Miami Dolphins, I'm going to take quarterback Alabama, Tua Tagovailoa. They're going to take. I'm trying to do what I think they're going to do. If I did what I was going to do, I probably still would have done him. But I think they're going to take a quarterback, and I do think he has more upside than Herbert. A lot of the analysis of watching Tua, the way he reads defenses, the way he checks, the way he's just. If he didn't have that injury, he would easily be going number 1. And I don't look at the injuries that often. I think he's gonna. If he stays healthy, he's gonna wind up being better than Burrow, and you're gonna be happy for a long time, right? All right. And I don't want to take any more quarterbacks either. By the way, I want to be done with that.
Go ahead, Ray. Take the floor.
I hope you're right. I hope that's the pick that everybody's right that he stays healthy. I'm afraid of him. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Especially in Miami.
Yeah, what does that mean is what I'd like to know. That's the kind of stuff that makes me turn off podcasts. It's like a family thing. I can criticize the Dolphins. I don't really want to hear anybody else doing it, so.
If we know anything about the Dolphins, is that it's not a safe place for players, for anybody.
Marcus, what do you think about that pick, man?
It's safer than Atlanta.
That's definitely questionable. Yeah, it's debatable. But no, I think it's a cool pick. Tua is definitely a great player, but I think for the questions about his health, that may not be the best place for him as a player. Personally, but for the Miami Dolphins, if they can get him going, they can get around him, the pieces around him, the defense going, get him some support because as a young quarterback with injury issues, a weak defense will not be in his favor, especially coming from a pro style offense where they heavily ran the ball heavily.
Definitely. All right, well, real quick, Remy is in the building. What's up, Remy? Yes.
What's up, Remy?
Remy in here.
I wish I could manifest the lottery the way I just manifested Remy.
Yeah, we got Remy in here. So what's up, Remy? It's been a while. Thank you. Appreciate you being in the chat room. Thank you. All right, we're going to move along with the number 6 pick, LaMarcus Bailey. Got the L.A. Chargers. I almost say San Diego. L.A. Chargers. I got it. All right, LaMarcus, who you got, man?
All right, so after watching him at the Senior Bowl and seeing what kind of playmaking ability he had from the opening of the game, he had 3 drives, and I think all 3 of the drives were scoring drives. He looked poised in the pocket. He's huge, tall, poised. He's a winner. I'm gonna have to pick Justin Herbert out of Oregon. I think he's an elite quarterback, and I think he fits what he's going into. He'll fit the system. He'll go in and be the next Phillip Rivers, but take that to the next step, especially starting fresh with a new city. So I think that'll be good for the Chargers.
All right, Tom, what do you think about that pick?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. The Chargers need a quarterback. He's the next best one. People argue between him and Tua, so you can't go wrong with either one. They need a quarterback. They're loaded talent on offense. So Justin Herbert could have a pretty nice transition to the NFL to start off with that team.
Definitely. And Ray, what do you think?
I like Justin Herbert, Jerome. You know that. My only thing is that if you can't draft Herbert at 6, why can't Miami draft him at 5?
Because I made the pick.
There you go. Good answer.
Touche.
DeMarcus, I have one question for you.
Yes.
If Miami takes Herbert, do you take Tua with that pick?
Nah, I don't.
Okay, that's my worry.
I don't.
Right, because he's going to fall like a rock now.
Yeah, I think if Justin Herbert is taken first, I think it devalues Tua a little bit. I mean, in my estimation, I would have taken Tua anyway. But, that's just because of the injuries, and that's just mainly because of that for me.
Right.
Definitely. We got some comments in the comment room, so keep the comments going. We appreciate each one of the comments. All right, I am number 7 with the Panthers. Now, man, I already know who I'm going to pick because I've been mocking this guy to the Panthers ever since. I was kind of hoping some players fell in this mock draft. You guys are making this mock draft very predictable, and I'm going to make it very predictable as well because I pick this guy every single time with the Panthers. So I'm going to go Derek Brown, inside defensive lineman, and I like this pick for them. They need the run support. They keep trying to pick a defensive tackle for that position forever. I think it was Kyle Love. They had what's his name? The latest first round defensive lineman they had. They've been trying the last couple of years, and they've been striking out on their defensive tackles. I think with him and Brian Burns on the outside, they're going to be dangerous. I love this pick. Derek Brown is my second favorite defensive player in this draft. Ray, what do you think about that pick?
That's my favorite pick of the draft so far, to be honest with you, dude.
Let's go.
I think Derek Brown is a top 5 talent, and anybody who gets him after that is getting maybe the bargain of the draft.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about that, Tom?
I think he can play in any defense. He can play nose. He can play 3 tech. He can do everything. So
yeah. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't know any human being that would deny that pick. I mean, watching him, he blows up every offensive line he plays against, and that's what defensive tackles are supposed to do. There's literally no downside.
Mm-hmm. I agree. All right, LaMarcus, what do you think?
Good pick. Not much to
say. All right, man, a few words. All right, we are at number 8 with the Cardinals. And that's going to be Ray. Ray, who you got with this one?
I got
You can take your time. You can take your time.
I got offensive tackle Tristan Wirfs from Iowa. I thought between him and I know a lot of people are high on Mekhi Becton. I am not as high on him. I think he's a first round tackle who'll be taken in the first round. I don't think he's a top 10 tackle. I think it's a little rich for a tackle right here, but I got Wirfs as the best, most athletic tackle. I think with Murray at quarterback, you want an offensive tackle who's very athletic and get out and protect him. And he is your number one investment right now. You got to protect your quarterback. So I think you could have taken him or Andrew Thomas with this pick, and you'd be in good shape. So,
all right, LaMarcus, what do you think about that?
That was gonna be my pick. That was gonna be my pick for Tampa Bay at 14. So that's definitely a predictable place for him to go that high. So great player, best O lineman in the draft.
Okay, and Tom.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's a glaring need for the Cardinals. You get one of the, depending on your opinion, the top one or two guys. I mean, again, he could be a starter for 10 years.
All right, we're going to move along to the next one, and we got the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm on the clock right now. I'm a little torn right now. Do I want to go offensive line? Do I want to give them a cornerback because they really do need one? I am actually going to go offensive tackle, and I'm going to go Derek Wills for the Jaguars. The reasoning is because they have a young quarterback that's going to be back there. Either way, if they don't draft somebody, they're going to have a young quarterback out there. They're in full rebuild mode, and if you're going to be in full rebuild mode, the best thing to do is make sure that offensive line is the best it can be for whoever y'all place in there when you do actually build up your offense. So I think offensive line would make the best sense right now. They do have another first-round pick where they can still get a playmaker. So I'm going to go offensive line right there. Ray, what do you think about that?
I mean, I like Wills. I think he's a good player. That's a little rich for me right there. Mm-hmm. I think Andrew Thomas is a better football player. I probably would have taken him.
Honestly, I like.
Again,
Yeah, I like Andrew. I think Wills fit the Jags a little bit better, in my opinion. That's why I got Wills, but I do like Andrew Thomas a lot better. Tom, what do you think?
I agree, O-line, and I for some reason I don't know what my deal. I love Mekhi Becton. I don't know what it is, and that's probably who I would have put there. I agree, O-line, but I don't know what it is with Becton. I love watching him. I don't know what it is, but
yeah,
maybe I'll get him for somebody else down the road.
For me, he's still a project. So in a way, I guess you can pick them there because they are, like we say, they're not going to win anything this year. They're in full rebuild mode. They're trying to trade everybody away. But I just wanted somebody that was a little bit more settled in and, more polished at that position.
My only other problem with Wills is you got to basically teach him to play left tackle.
Yeah, that's true.
Never played there, so.
Yeah.
It's not the play. Yeah, I mean, I had Wills at Dallas at what pick 17. So I definitely like him as a player. I definitely think it is kind of rich to pick him that high. But I would have probably took Andrew Thomas if I thought he would have still been there.
Yeah. All right. Well, nobody like my pick. No, I'm joking. All right. All right, so we're going to go number 10.
Not that I don't like your pick, Jerome. I think it's a solid pick.
Yeah.
It's not a splashy pick.
Yeah. All right,
solid pick.
Well, you got the Browns. They need a lot of help. What do you think?
I'm going to take Andrew Thomas. I honestly think that Andrew Thomas is going to be the best plug-and-play tackle in the draft. Mm-hmm. I'm not even saying he's going to be the best. He has the best film work for the last 3 seasons. He's going to go out there and pretty much know how to play left tackle right now. So he'd be the guy I think.
What do you think, LaMarcus?
Very wise drafting these 3 past picks because this is unheard of 3 straight tackles.
Yeah.
So I think it's smart.
It might be
smart picking. Definitely smart picking. Yeah.
It might be for you.
I honestly hope I honestly hope that they don't go in that order because I want Miami to get one of them.
What do you think? What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, Browns need O-line. That's their biggest need, and he was the best one left. Well, again, I like Becton, like I said, but great pick. I mean, they need an offensive lineman, and you got a stud.
All right. All right, let's go to number 11, and it's going to be Mr. Tom. You're on the clock with the Jets.
All right, so the Jets, I narrowed it down to two positions that I think they need. So do I go safe or do I go splashy? I'll go splashy, and I'm going to go wide receiver at Alabama, Jerry Jeudy.
Woo!
I think he's the number one receiver in the draft. I know people, might like CeeDee Lamb and all that. I just think Jerry Jeudy is the most complete receiver. And I think Sam Darnold is starving for a number one receiver. And if you get a number one receiver who happens to be the number one receiver, I say you're off to a good start.
Definitely. Tom, are you not concerned about the rumors that are going on with his name? Is there any concern with that at all as a GM? Or that was just smoke screen, you think? What do you think about that?
Well, you saw I took Tua at 5, so I must not care about injuries.
In a time you need to worry about injuries. You don't worry about injuries in this mock draft, huh?
Exactly.
Okay. LaMarcus, what do you think about that pick, man?
It's a good pick for sure. I definitely think it's a good pick. I would have picked him.
Okay.
Next, I would have picked him.
What do you think? What do you think, Ray?
I agree with Tom. It's a great pick.
Yeah.
And DeMarcus, I think that Jerry Jeudy is the best route runner I've seen since, Marvin Harrison coming out of college. The guy's ready to play right now, so he's the guy. So.
Yeah, I definitely think he's a good player. I don't know. I'm gonna have to see. Like, I loved him in college. Definitely loved him in college. I'm just have to see.
Okay.
I mean, it just reminds me of Marvin Harrison. When Harrison came out in '96, in the beginning of the year, he was a consensus number one guy like Judy's been since last year.
Yeah.
And then people started poking and prodding and nitpicking his game. And then Keyshawn Johnson, who's not half the player he is, got picked before him. So, you don't do it. You go with the guy with the best film work for 2.5, if not 3 seasons. He's the best route runner of anybody, easily. He's going to be Sam Darnold's best friend within a month.
Definitely. All right. Now we got number 12, and we got my man LaMarcus on the clock. He got the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders. LaMarcus, are you gonna switch this draft up? Or are you gonna be the one to take that crazy pick? What's going on?
Let me pause. So my pick was taken. I was gonna pick Andrew Thomas at 12. That was gonna be my pick, right?
Don't go with something. I'll be ready, man. Come on.
Yeah, but I was thinking about O-line or a big playmaker on the outside. They got really good tight end, Darren Waller. He was one of the best tight ends last year, especially he was a young guy too. So it'll be cool to see, how that quarterback situation plays out. And so I think giving them, whoever is there, giving them some weapons on the outside, it'll just create that more confidence. And then they have in the backfield, they already have a good solid running back. And so I think getting CeeDee Lamb here, I think that would be a good way to open up the receiving class. And so I think CeeDee Lamb Jerry Jeudy opened it up, but I think CeeDee Lamb could have I think he could have opened it up, but I think he's a guy who's the most complete receiver in this draft, and that was an unexpected pick for me. But when I thought about my favorite receivers, I think that was my guy, CeeDee Lamb.
All right, so real quick, LaMarcus, if Jeudy was there and you had to choose between CD and Jeudy, who would you pick? Was it gonna be CD still or Jeudy?
It'll be CD. I just think what I was saying, I love Judy's game and I believe he's the best route runner, but I think he doesn't fit just any system. He fits a system like, play calling is great. Where play calling has to be great. I think CeeDee Lamb, you put him anywhere, he's a Michael Thomas type of guy. Like, it doesn't matter where he goes. He can be a quarterback's their option. He could be the number one guy.
Okay. All right. What do you think, Tom?
I think the pick was great. I mean, CeeDee Lamb was the next guy on the board, and Vegas need a wideout. Terrence Williams isn't cutting it. He's a good number 2 or maybe a 3, they need a number one, and CeeDee Lamb qualifies. So again, I think I like Judy better, but CeeDee Lamb is definitely number two to me.
Ray, what do you think?
I agree with LaMarcus. I think that he's going to fit Oakland, he's going to fit the Raiders scheme. He's going to be a guy who can run the intermediate stuff and then turn it into long plays. I think he's a good. I mean, you could have taken him or Judy. Honestly, I love Judy because I love guys that run pristine routes and they kind of where they're going to be. That's why if I was a quarterback, I probably would rather play with him because you can just kind of just throw the ball to a spot. He's going to be there. CeeDee Lamb is the guy who you get his ball in his hand in space and he's going to make plays for you though. Again, you could win either one of them two guys and you got a winner, so you're good to go.
That's definitely true. That's definitely true. They're definitely beasts on the outside for sure.
So, who would say is there, Jerome? Who would you say his comparable in the NFL comparable?
CD.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question. I'm gonna leave this up to my other analysts. What do you guys think about this question? Give me a second to ponder this real quick.
Well, while you're pondering, I like the Michael as much as I dislike Michael Thomas. I like the comparison. Because Michael Thomas could play literally with anybody as a quarterback, which is witnessed by. No slight to Teddy Bridgewater, but Teddy Bridgewater is not Drew Brees, and Michael Thomas had no slip. So I think CD could probably do the same kind of damage.
I think actually Michael Thomas is a perfect comparison for him. He's a guy that you can play out wide. You can move him inside. He's going to push, defensive backs out of the way. He's going to outrun linebackers. He's just a mismatch nightmare. So just like Michael Thomas. So
I'm gonna say Michael Thomas too. So I couldn't think of nobody. I couldn't think of nobody.
There, Howie.
Howie. Oh man. All right. Anyway, guys. We're going to go pick 13. Ray Roberts, you are on the clock with the 49ers. Ray, who are you picking right here?
The 49ers. I think, honestly, that the 49ers are going to try to trade out of this spot. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of rumors about it. But if I have to make this pick, their biggest need is a corner. And Kuda's not there. So I guess I'm going to take I'm not crazy about this pick, to be honest with you. Thinking, was there somebody else here that I would rather have? No, I'm going to take CJ Henderson. I'm going to have to. I think he'll be a good starting cornerback. My problem is the 49ers need a cornerback. The problem is I think he needs a little bit more work than Akuda. And I think that he may not start off the bat, but he has a nice upside. I think he's a good cover corner. Again, I don't think the 49ers are going to make this pick. I think they're going to move down. But if I had to make the pick, I would take a guy who I think could come in and play cornerback for me right now. So,
well, that's one I definitely haven't heard yet. I like that. He can't tackle. That's all I'm going to say. LaMarcus, what do you think about that pick?
Come back to me on that one.
Go ahead, Tom.
I agree that they need a corner, but I think they need a wide receiver more. So that's the direction I had them going in. And if you were going to land on a corner, I guess he's the next best one. Him or I don't want to say names because then it gives people ideas. But there is another corner that I like a little bit better than CJ Henderson. I had him going wide receiver, but Henderson's he's a good player. So
definitely.
Take it up.
See, if you guys listened to our podcast on Monday, I actually had CJ Henderson at 3. I, as well as Tom, had another cornerback, so I'm thinking we might be on the same mind wave right now with the Michigan stuff going on with our corner rankings. LaMarcus, you look like you had something to say. What do you think, man?
I hope y'all are thinking the corner I'm thinking, but we'll see.
We might be all on the same page. I got somebody.
We'll see who says who drafts them first. I guess.
There you go. All right, let's go to our next pick. LaMarcus, you are on a clock. You are the the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who are you picking here? Are you going to help Tom Brady out? Because he already got a whole bunch of help now.
I don't think he needs any help.
He already got Gronk on the team, so I'm pretty sure he'd be all right. But what are you doing in this pick, LaMarcus?
All right, yeah, they have a lot of great, like Chris Godwin, obviously. They have Mike Evans still. They have a lot of guys. Gronk, Tom Brady. The offense is shored up. I think running back won't be much of an issue. They'll come in and put a running back there that'll fit in the system. I think they can get a running back in free agency. But what I really think they need defensively, I would say a safety. And I think a good safety, a good young safety, it could come in there and make a big splash. And I didn't have him, being this high. But after things have played out, I really think this could be a guy that people wouldn't expect. Kyle Duggar out of Lenore Ryan.
Whoa!
I think a guy like Kyle Duggar
I wasn't ready.
He'll be a guy that I think opposite. This will sound crazy, right? Opposite Tom Brady, a safety that can read Tom Brady day after day in practice. At the end of his career, learn a lot from him, and I think Kyle Duggar at this pick, no, hands down, there's no other safety that I really watch him in person. There's no other safety I can say is as good as watching him, and then being in such a small conference, overshadowed. So it'll be great to see what he can do when he lines up in that kind of situation. I think he'd be in this guy, Kyle Duggar.
All right, we mixing up this first round already. I love it. Kyle Duggar in the first round, middle of the first round at that. Tom, what do you think about that pick?
That threw me for a loop when he was saying safety. I was thinking he was going to be saying one of two other names I had written down.
Exactly.
Might be a smidgen too high for Mr. Duggar, who's obviously an awesome player. And, if he turns out to be a good player, it doesn't really matter that you drafted him at 14 if he becomes a 10-year starter. But
exactly.
Maybe a little bit high. Yeah. Maybe a little high.
What do you think, Ray?
I love Kyle Duggar. It's way too rich, man.
Yeah.
Way too rich.
I don't think anybody don't like Kyle Duggar. He's a really good player. My thing is D2 guy, small school. He was the biggest guy on his team, and he was a safety. Like, he was a safety, and he was the biggest guy on his team. Like, you get what I'm saying? So
and that's the point, and that's what makes me all right. Because when I see this is what I think I told you, Jerome.
Yeah.
When I saw him, he was returning kicks, right? As big as he was the biggest guy out of all the big, the big conference guys, the Power 5 guys. He was the biggest safety there. He looked the most polished, and they had him doing the most. They had him returning punts. So when I saw that, that's when I knew, okay, he has trust on his team. That coach is obviously seeing something that the rest of the team, the rest of the guys don't, and so he's like obviously a guy that, okay, he's my biggest guy. I'm not gonna put 6'2", 230-pound safety at punt return if he's not a guy. That's my whole conception about it.
Correct. No, I agree. I mean, like me and Ray was talking about this on Monday. Kyle Duggar, I do like the fact that he's very versatile. He can play anywhere on special teams. You can put him wherever you want on special teams. He'll do it. He's very willing to do it. And he said he likes doing it. I think
it's hot. I get it. Yeah, I know.
It's hot. It's hot. He's a D2 guy. I mean,
we'll see.
I hope he does go up there and get that high because he's a really good guy and we really enjoyed him and talked to him. We interviewed him and we got to see him at the Senior Bowl. So really good guy. Ray, what was you about to say something?
No, and like Tom said, in the end, it's only going to matter is if the guy plays in the league for a while or not. And yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to play. Yeah. So down the road, 5 years from now, we would call him Lamarcus a genius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope so. Well, I'm crazy still.
He's our version of Mel Kiper,
Mel Kiper.
Yeah, save this tape. Save this tape, man. Put this on your resume. If he goes to, I'm telling you.
Mel Kiper, Jr.
There you
go. All right, I am on the clock. I got the Broncos. I know who I'm gonna pick. I wish I wasn't gonna pick this guy because I would have loved him to fall to the Eagles, but it's absolutely no way that the Broncos look at this guy and say,
"I'll just write it down." Nah, go ahead.
I know the Broncos gonna look at this guy and say, "There's absolutely no way we're not gonna pair him up with our other receiver, and it's gonna be Henry Ruggs. Put the speed with the power. I think it's a great compliment to what's his name? I'm blanking on
Courtland Sutton.
Yes. Who I love. I love Courtland Sutton. I think that's gonna be like the Batman and Robin duo right there. I think pitting them two together on the field, you got a great 1-2 punch and helping out Drew Lock. Ray, what do you think about that pick?
I love the pick. I love Henry Ruggs, especially he fits perfectly there as the speed guy, as the number 1A2 guy, and Drew Lock is my favorite quarterback from last year's draft, and he's going to do nothing but improve my status, so that's good to go.
All right, Tom, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Ruggs was a no-brainer there. I think he fits perfect. I mean, if there was a team that's carved out for him to fit, other than our bias to having it be Philly, I think the Broncos are that spot. I think it's a home run pick. It's the fit matches the skill set, matches the quarterback. He might be offensive rookie of the year.
Ooh, wow!
Even though I like CD and Judy better, I just think the situation for Ruggs might line up to be perfect day one.
Yeah, you might be right. And they got Melvin Gordon in the backfield now, paired with Phillip Lindsay. Oh my goodness, then you got all weapons all across the board, and you got Noah Fant, who went in the first round last year as well. That offense is stacked. You get him in there. The offense is stacked. It's fast. It can be physical. You can be whatever you want it to be. I think it's a no-brainer right there, in my opinion.
Denver was a team that was like making strides last year, and I think that move really helps them. I love that pick.
Definitely. LaMarcus, what do you think, man?
I like it. He's a fast guy. That'll be definitely a good little two. Some good balance for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if I was the Broncos, I'm running to the podium. I'm sorry. All right.
Yeah.
Well, our next pick, we got Tom on the board. He got the Atlanta Falcons, LaMarcus' so-called team. Tom, so-called team. Sorry, I hear all that background noise. Jeez. Tom, who you got?
I'm running to the podium with this one. I had this guy ranked as the 9th best prospect in the draft, and he's slipping down to 16. Defensive tackle Javon Kinlaw.
Ooh, I love it.
Now, Derek Brown obviously is number 1 in this draft, but Javon Kinlaw is not that far off. He's gonna terrorize the NFC South on the inside. He's a monster. I love Javon Kinlaw.
Yeah, that's a great pick.
What do you think, LaMarcus?
I can't say I know too much about Javon Kinlaw, but I mean, Atlanta, there's a lot of stuff they need. I mean, obviously, a lot of things they need. They were injury depleted, so it'll be interesting to see how free agency goes, because I think a lot of guys won't be there, and there'll be a lot of young guys. I think a lot of new guys and a lot of young guys will be starting next year.
Yeah. Tom, real quick before I go to Ray, you made Avery very happy with that pick. He's like going ecstatic in the in the chat room right now, so he loves the pick. Ray,
all right, nice, appreciate it, Avery.
Ray, what do you think about the pick, man?
No, I like him well. He's a stud. He's a guy who a little bit different than Derek Brown in the fact that he's probably a better pass rusher than Derek Brown is right now. Yeah. More of an interior guy. But I mean, I love Kinlaw. He's a very good player. That's a good pick. I actually was hoping he was going to stay there for the Raiders because I didn't really know. I'm not sure about what the Raiders want to do, but that's one of their 3 needs, and I would have definitely jumped on because the kid, he's a top 10 talent. He has had some knee injuries issues last month you've been hearing about. Maybe part of the reason why he's dropped this far.
Well, me and injured guys.
Exactly. Well, you're going to have the whole medical team on your team, man. You're going to have the whole ward. This is the guy Tom drafted. Oh, yeah.
Well, Ray, there might be a guy at 19 for the Raiders that I think you're going to pick, unless LaMarcus take the guy right here. So LaMarcus is on the board right here with the Cowboys. Who are you picking for the Cowboys?
Cowgirls. All right, well, I think the Cowboys always need secondary guys. Like, that's one of their – I feel like that's the hardest thing for them to keep and, continue to stay healthy. I mean, they got Byron on one side. Then they have the guy from
our boy Jordan Lewis.
Yeah. But, Jordan Lewis from Michigan, he's a good guy. It had him as the 3rd guy, though, right, majority of the time, I thought.
Yeah, there's the dude from Colorado. I can't think of his last name.
Uchwe or Ujwe.
Awudiye.
Woody, yeah.
There you go.
Those three always can have a strong guy in the secondary. I think a safety, bringing in a young safety would be a good thing for them. I think they always could benefit from that. Grant Delpit, I like it, this pick. I think he's the next guy. After Kyle Duggar, I think Grant Delpit was the next guy. You know, he's a all-around guy. I think that can command that secondary back there. So Grant Delpit.
Ray, what do you think about that pick?
I love Grant Delpit. I think he's the best safety in the draft, to be honest with you. I do. I mean, as much as I love Kyle Duggar and I love the other kid, I can't remember the top name off the top of my head.
McKinney.
It's not McKinney. I'm not as big on McKinney as everybody else. I'll be honest. I respect Alabama, but is there a reason why every player on the team is like Alabama? Come on, man. They're not all that good, are they? They're not. Xavier McKinney is the guy who's not as good as the other guys, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Tom,
yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I look at with the Xavier McKinney, I think it's like, you know, you have that amazing front eight. It's kind of like if you can be just solid on the back end, you know, you'll be good. They're gonna throw half of the passes up to you. There's gonna be lobs, and that front 7-8 is gonna get there every play. You know, so it's making your job on the back end a lot easier.
I just think that the McKinney, honestly, is going to be like an inbox safety or a hybrid, a guy who comes down and helps out with the run. And I know he's played free safety at Alabama, was because you don't have a whole lot of time to throw the ball against Alabama.
Exactly.
So he plays safety with 4.6 speed. You know?
Yeah, it's easy to do that.
Correct.
Tom, what do you think?
Yeah, I had Delpit at 1. I because I don't like Dallas, I hope Dallas does take Xavier McKinney, but I do think Grant Delpit is obviously the much better pick. Just watch the tape of the two guys, Delpit and McKinney. Delpit is not as he doesn't rely on his teammates as much. He can make a lot happen on his own, whereas like the other two guys made good points with McKinney's he's a product of his environment, whereas Delpit can kind of do his own thing. So
exactly, I like that. I like that now as a product of his environment. Yeah.
I mean, I think the problem with Delpit did have some tackling issues this year, mostly because of injuries. So some people had too long to think about it. The guy's been the best safety in college football for like 3 years now. Just make the pick, you know.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to the next pick. Miami Dolphins at 18. I am the GM for the Miami Dolphins. Hi, Ray. How you doing?
Hello.
Ray, I'm about to make you a very happy man. I'm going to pick the guy that everybody was clamoring about at the combine. Everybody was looking at him like, "Oh my God, he ran so fast," which don't matter to me. But he's a good guy. I think Ray's going to be very happy with him. Mekhi Becton at number
I'm ecstatic.
Number 18.
At number 18.
I never would have thought he would have fell that far. Ray probably would love him. He's a guy that you can probably develop after a while and make him even better than he is. Ray, what do you think about that?
I like that. I think this is a perfect spot for Becton. He comes in, you coach him up, and he's a mauler. Miami's going to try to run the ball. Even no matter what, they're going to run the ball. So that's a perfect thing.
Yeah, they're going to need offensive line help as much as possible. That offensive line is very, very thin. LaMarcus, what do you think about that pick, man?
This makes that Tua pick a lot better.
It does make the Tua pick a lot better, absolutely.
I agree.
It does. Because the thing about Becton is you can actually move him to the right side and just let him maul guys over there, and then just pick up a guy as a left tackle who's just like a nice player. Because you're going to have to protect Tua's blind side from the right side now. So,
sure.
Yeah. What do you think, Tom?
You know, I like it. I would have taken Mekhi Becton at 10. So you get him at 18. I mean, absolute home run pick. They need the offensive lineman to help my injured quarterback. So, absolute great pick.
Awesome.
Well, we're making Ray happy right now. So that's a good thing.
It's not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing. All right, let's go to 19. Ray, you were on the clock with the Oakland. Oh my God, I knew I was gonna say it. The Las
Las
Vegas Raiders.
You know what, Joe?
Nobody's
You're
gonna get used to saying it. I'm telling you, everybody's gonna keep calling the Oakland Raiders.
the time you get used to saying it, they'll change. They'll move places again.
They're gonna
Okay.
go right back to Oakland,
The
right?
time you get used to saying Las Vegas, they'll move back to Oakland or back to LA.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, I don't know. You can gamble a lot in Las Vegas, so maybe they're perfect there. Who knows?
Yeah.
They are the silver and black, the skull and crossbone, right?
Yeah.
Who better to shoot?
They're just hoping. They're just hoping if they can't make money winning games, they'll make money in the casino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ray.
It don't
You're on the clock.
matter because John Gruden got paid going away, coming in all over the place, so he don't even care anymore about that. So, you know what, Jerome? I really love your Miami pick, and you're not going to like my pick as much, though, because I'm going to take your guy off the board, and I'm going to take Justin Jefferson right here.
Woo! Wow. Okay.
White House.
Wide outs. Tom, what do you think about that pick?
I think Justin Jefferson's a great player, but since Marcus already filled the need with CeeDee Lamb earlier, maybe taking another wide receiver that quickly, maybe could have went somewhere else. I don't know what other crazy needs the Raiders have off the top of my head, though.
They got.
I don't know. I'm a little sketched. I'm sketched out by two receivers in the first round a little. That's all.
Yeah.
I will say that Jefferson is more of a slot wide receiver, so it could work. But take
Hunter Renfrow.
They got Hunter Renfrow. LaMarcus, what do you think about that pick, man?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree. It is kind of like unbelievable they'll take two in the first round. But like if you're being risky, which the Raiders have, they've been risky since Gruden's been there. Getting rid of Matt, that's kind of like risky is what they have to do now. Trying to rebuild and stuff. But two solid receivers with the quarterback situation kind of in a balance, I think it's always good to have a lot of weapons around. And I don't believe in inside receiver and outside receiver. I believe that now in today's NFL, the best receivers they'll line you up wherever.
I agree. That's a good point. The only thing I would say about that is that this is a rich wide receiver class where you can get some guys later. So I probably wouldn't double up on wide receiver like that in this draft. I mean, maybe in other drafts if you really feel comfortable with your quarterback too. Maybe. Or if you want to see who's the better quarterback out of the two, I would probably do that. But I don't know. It's two first-round wide receivers. I don't know. All right, Tom, you were on the clock with the Jack. I think we had a little disconnection there. But Tom, you were on the clock with the Jaguars. Who you got?
That's what I wanted to ask you. Who did you take for them at 9?
I took Wills.
Okay, then I'm taking. Okay, here we go. This will switch it up a little bit. I'm taking Jordan Love because I do not buy Gardner Minshew as a starting quarterback. There are other needs in Jacksonville, but I don't think that Jordan Love is going to slip to the second round. So I don't think there's a downside to trying to get your quarterback of the future.
Something nobody's talking about. Them getting Jordan Love. I love it. He fell down. I would take him. I mean, hey, at 20, that's a bargain pick. Ray, what do you think about that pick?
I like that pick. I actually thought about taking him for the Raiders, but it's a little rich for Jordan Love right now because I like Jordan Love, but there are a lot of people that are not crazy about him right now, so we'll see.
Okay. LaMarcus, what do you think?
That's not the organization for Jordan Love. That's more so the organization for I don't know.
Gardner Minshew.
Nobody.
Jordan Love, from what I've seen, it in late in the season, but I didn't really see what people were so hot on. He looks the part, but I just don't feel like he looks uncertain. Even personally looks kind of uncertain, And so he seemed maybe more of a developmental guy. And so I don't think that's necessarily the organization. Now, for example, the Patriots, this would be a great pick for them. Jordan Love would be a great pick for New England, I believe.
Okay. We got some mixed feelings in here. We got some people in the chat room. Chris said R.E.P. Love. Oh, R.I.P. Love. Oh man. Oh man. We'll see what happens. I don't hate it. You got Gardner Minshew always going to be the starter. Like LaMarcus said, he can be in the background waiting to get his chance and.
But not behind Gardner Minshew.
That's the one thing. That's the one thing I'm not crazy about, because you know what's going to happen. If Minshew struggles, they're going to want Love on the field, and he's not going to be ready this year.
Yeah.
You know.
I give you that. All right, LaMarcus.
He's a good guy.
No, he's a good guy, and he's a guy you can develop.
Yeah.
But for right now, I'd rather have him if I had a guy who was a year from being retired, or a guy who was just a stopgap guy. I think they would like Minshew to be their starter. If they do this, they don't think he's a starter, so.
All right, we'll see. All right, let's go to 21. We got the Philadelphia Eagles on the clock. LaMarcus Bailey, just letting you know there's 2 Eagles fans in here, so we will jump you. Go ahead.
All right, so since every other team has already taken every single other good receiver, I feel like you're not every other good receiver. I just feel like in this draft, Philly, they have a big need for the receivers that have already been taken, like the CeeDee Lamb, the Jerry Jeudy, those guys. So I think right here, Philly would really benefit from having a big time receiver. I think Brandon Ayuk would be. I think he would be the next guy to come off the board. I don't really see any other guys that I feel like. I mean, he's a big guy a big athletic receiver, fast, that he can actually make plays. I mean, if it was me, I would trade up to get Jerry Jeudy or CeeDee Lamb, but if I'm Philly,
All right, Tom, you want to take this one over?
Yeah, I mean, that's the need that the Eagles have. And they need to trade up unless one of these guys slips for some reason. Because I do like Brandon Ayuk, and we're not doing trades in this draft, but he was the logical choice there.
Yeah.
But I need to see Justin Jefferson. I need Justin Jefferson to be the worst case scenario for the Eagles. But we had to take a wide receiver, and Brandon Ayuk is the next best guy. So for the purposes of this, that had to be the pick.
Yeah, I thought so.
Tom, not Tom. Ray, what do you think?
I mean, I like Ayuk. It's a little early for him. I may have won a different position here. But again, I mean, they need a receiver. What's going to matter is if he gets on the field. If he gets on the field, everybody's going to be happy about it. So
exactly.
It's a neat position. So,
I don't like the pick. All right, this is the reason. It's nothing against Ayuk. I think he's a good player. I think you can get him later on also. Injury is concerned for me. The Eagles been coming off of 2 years with a whole bunch of injuries. He had an injury. He's a 1 year starter, and it's not wrong with 1 year starters. Don't get me wrong. He played very, very well. The injury issue I do have an issue with. If I'm the Eagles and I'm drafting that high, I don't want to get anybody that have any type of medical issues. I'm sorry. Just because we've been injured every year, and we need a team to stay on the field so we can make the playoffs and win playoff games instead of just getting by in the playoffs and that kind of deal. So I need guys that's going to stay on the field. I think he's too high. If we are going to go wide receiver there, I'd rather have Mims. I really like him. I like his game. The only big issue I have about him is he's a little too grabby. I would have got Mims or a linebacker, and then try to get either Mims or Ayuk in the second round, because I think you can still get that value right there. I know, Ray. Ray's about to say the Eagles don't pick linebackers. I know that.
But in the first round,
it is 2020. We gotta change it. We gotta do something. If all those receivers are off the board at that point, you got plenty of good receivers in the second round. Get another position of need, and I think we still got the 2 best linebackers on the board. I know.
Leopards don't change their spots, man. Okay.
Or
Tigers
trade back.
don't change their spots, and the Eagles don't take linebackers in the first round. Okay.
Hey, you never know. You never know. So that's just
Okay.
This is just my opinion. I mean, I just
I'm
think
not saying they don't need a linebacker because they do. They need a linebacker.
really bad.
Yeah, but they need linebackers worse than they do now, and they never took one in the first round before.
Yeah. So that's just my opinion on that. So let's get to our next pick. I have the Vikings on the clock at number 22. Is this the first pick in the first round or the second one? This is the first one. All right. I'm going to go with my guy. I don't know if this is the same guy you guys been talking about, but this is my guy at cornerback. I'm going to Christian Fulton right here. Christian Fulton.
That was who I was thinking about, yeah.
Lamarcus shaking his head. Yeah, all right. So I knew me and the Michigan guys, man. I knew we was thinking of it the same way. I think he's a physical corner. Yes, he has some speed issues, but that's literally the only thing I think, in my opinion, that you can really pin on him. He's really good tackler. He's really willing to tackle in the open field and get running backs down, and he's very good at getting off the blocks as well. Press man, you can put him in there. He could do some zone. I like this pick. I'm picking Christian Fulton right here. I think this would be the perfect spot for him. Ray, what do you think?
I don't like Fulton as much as another corner right here, but it's a neat position. It's solid,
Solid, whatever.
Okay, it's solid.
Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, I like Fulton. I had him as the number 2 corner, and they lost Trey Waynes, so they need a corner, and Fulton I had as the next logical choice. Obviously, Okuda's head and shoulders above everybody else, but Fulton was the number 2 guy for me, and he lasted this long. I think it's a pretty solid pick for Minnesota.
I agree. Lamar, what do you think?
Yeah, it's an pick for me. He just wasn't the best DB on his team, and it's just the only reason was because the other guy is not eligible this year.
He's a freshman.
He's also the top quarterback in college football, probably. So yeah.
He would have went a lot higher.
Yeah.
So, I think that's more of a projection on that team, that entire secondary, because Christian Fulton, I think he wasn't as good as things. He's a great corner, obviously. Yeah. I would have took a different route. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna hold my tongue on that one. But there's another guy.
If you're going to pick the guy I want you to pick for the second pick, I hope so, because this is going to really make this team really good right there. But let's see what you're going to pick.
I don't know. But I'm thinking.
You might go different routes.
I'm thinking close to home. I don't know if you're on the same page right now.
Oh, maybe we're not. We'll see. All right, let's move on to our next pick. Pick number 23. Sorry, I'm jumping picks. With the Patriots, Ray. You got the Patriots. How did you get the Patriots?
Don't know, man. I'd rather not. But can I just skip their pick? They don't get one here. Or?
This draft feels rigged. Ray don't have any of the Miami picks. Not 1 out of 3, and he has to pick for the Patriots.
Well, you know what? I'm going to do my due diligence here, and I'm going to take. I hate saying his first name, so I'm just going to say his last name. Chason, defensive end from LSU. That's my pick. So
I like it. Chason is
Davion or whatever, however you say.
Clavon.
Yeah,
Clavon, however you say his first name. I know he's a versatile player. Can play edge. He can play a little outside linebacker. Kind of guy that New England kind of likes, and they can use an edge rusher. So I think he kind of fits for what they need. So.
No, I had him as the best player available. And that's who I was taking next with the Saints if you didn't take him. So, I mean,
right.
He slid. I imagine in real life he'll probably get drafted a little higher than this tomorrow night. But that's a Patriot pick right there. If Belichick gets him, that's a home run.
Yeah.
What do you think, LaMarcus?
Now that Tom Brady's gone, each pick means a lot more now than it ever has because – Tom Brady was able to cover up a lot of mistakes, the entire team together. Now that that's not happening, now he's gone, every pick is important. It has to be more of a team game now, and it can't just be, what will Tom Brady do, we'll be fine. It has to be, okay, collective team.
I like it. I mean, they lost a lot of pass rushers. Most of them going to Miami, and yeah, I think this is a good pick. I mean, it's a value pick. He probably would have been picked a little bit ahead. Um, yeah, I like this pick. I seen him getting mocked to the Cowboys for some reason a lot lately, which I'm
Well,
not sure
because
about that,
the Cowboys lost the edge rusher that they had. He went to the Raiders, right?
but oh
The
yeah,
kid who played for Miami.
oh man,
Oh, no, he played for the Bears this
Robert
year. Robert Quinn. Yeah,
Quinn. There you go.
yeah.
Yeah,
So they lost him. So Chase Hunt steps right in and plays for him.
yeah.
If they got him, if that's where they took him. So yeah.
All right,
Kind of makes sense.
Tom, you are on a clock with the Saints. What you got?
I think the Saints' biggest need that I came up with was linebacker. So I'm going to take, in my opinion, the next best one that's available is Kenneth Murray out of Oklahoma. I just think he's a versatile player. I think he'll fit well with the Saints defense and what they try to do. And every mock draft I look at and did, it seems like that he's landing here. So I just think this is the right time for him to go off the board. So
I love it. If you guys haven't seen our bloggers mock draft, this is my selection here. The same exact selection for the Saints. I love him and put him next to Demarius Davis. I think that would be a nice 1-2 punch. Ray, what do you think about that?
I like Murray. I like Simmons. He's a good football player. I think that I don't like him as much as other people like him, but I think he's a good player, and I think he fits that system. So somebody was Patrick Queen drafted already?
Nope. Patrick
not by us.
Yeah, like he fits the system. It's a solid pick. He fits the system. I think know with Drew getting up there in age, everything like I said with Tom Brady going to the same kind of situation. I feel like it's important to keep the team strong, even when you're about to lose a big part.
I'm gonna throw this random question out there for you guys. Whoever wants to answer it first, I don't care. If you was the Saints and a quarterback fell to you, so let's say Jordan Love falls down to that spot, would you take him there?
Yeah, if I didn't take him at 20 for the Jaguars, I would have taken him there. If one of you other guys didn't take him, I would have taken him for the Saints for sure. Because Drew's got to be close to done. I mean, I wouldn't want to keep playing if I was him.
What do you think, Ray?
I think that would be a perfect spot for him too. He goes there. He sits on the bench. He knows he's not going to play this year. He just sucks in the knowledge. He gets to watch one of the best players that's ever played the position, and it's a perfect case scenario. He steps on the field next year and he's ready to go. I think that's a perfect place for him. I do.
Marcus?
Yeah.
You're not feeling Jordan Love right now.
Nah. I just.
All right.
I gotta see something. I really do.
Move along. All right.
Here's something we can say for him. Like, I know he struggled this year. Watch his game from 2018. It's pretty special, man. Not playing with great players, it's pretty special.
Yeah, and he lost a lot, and a lot of his guys was dropping a lot of balls this year. So.
He lost 3 of his offensive linemen this year, his best running back, and his best 2 receivers, and still stayed on the field and didn't get hurt. And didn't produce like he did the year before. But again, watch his game from 2018. Again, the guy has a lot of work. I'm not saying, but the plus and the upside is there, man.
It is.
And again, perfect case scenario. Even if Drew Brees decides to play on for 2 years, it's perfect. This guy's ready to go whenever that happens.
I agree. All right, LaMarcus, you at 25 with the Vikings. I want to see who you pick it here, man. I'm very curious. Who you got?
All right. So in the secondary, the defense. Defense period, right? Minnesota, they are known for having solid defense. Last year, it wasn't the best year for them. They had Xavier Rhodes he struggled a little bit. In the first round, I've already taken one small school guy. I feel like at the point that this guy's at, a lot of analysts and a lot of technically sound. He performed great at the combine. Actually performed 90th percentile at the combine out of all DBs. He ran 4.4. He jumped great. He performed well at the Senior Bowl. He's checked all the boxes. He had the top 3 in bench press at the combine. And so just, checking all the boxes from a small school guy is very important. So I think Kendall Vildor, he'll be a guy that'll come in that secondary, be great. And he'll be a starter veteran for a long time in the NFL.
All right, so
Right down.
All right, so this is my thing right here, right? One, you pick the guy that's projected to go in the 3rd, maybe 4th round. Don't get me wrong. Me and Ray love this guy. We love him, but he's just a slot corner. I don't think he's an outside guy right now. He's a slot corner, and I just picked up another corner. I just picked up Fuller. So you just picked up 2 cornerbacks in the 1st round. So I don't like that pick. Ray, what do you think?
I love the kid, but you're taking away all my picks from later in this draft, man. What are you doing? I need Miami to get these guys in the 3rd, 2nd, 3rd, 4th round. What are you doing to me, man? I love Tudor. I love him. Me and Trevor was talking about for 20 minutes the other night. Love this kid. Think in the beginning he is a slot corner. I think he can move outside. He's really got a high upside. He's a little short, but for a short guy, he actually likes to play man coverage. I love the kid, but he's a end of the 2nd, 3rd round pick. That's where I see him, honestly.
For sure.
That's what
I love him again and again.
Typically happens when it's small, but that's what typically happens when it's a small school guy. So they're by default gonna get, devalued. So we'll see. Definitely we'll see.
No, man. Again, if the guy's going to probably play at a pretty good level, and you're going to look like a genius, but you're taking all my late picks, man. What are you doing?
Tom, it looked like you're a little frozen, but I'm not sure. Can you hear us, Tom?
Tom left.
Tom has exited. Tom actually has the next pick as well. So, Tom, are you there?
That was weird. His face slid right off the camera.
See, he was so surprised about that pick, he just left the draft. So.
He dropped the mic and left the radio.
Oh, man. Tom, if you can hear us, please text me. Let me know you're alive.
Let us know what your pick is.
So, this is actually a funny... wait. We might got Tom. There he is. He's back.
There he is.
There he is.
Lamarcus broke Skype.
He did. He broke it.
Lamarcus broke Skype. No.
He thought maybe you dropped the mic and left the studio.
Oh, man. Real quick, tell us what you got with that pick, man. What do you think about that pick?
Who, me?
Tell them what you...
Yeah,
tell us what you think about that pick.
Yeah. Again, I give Lamarcus a lot of credit for his under the radar players, and he's going to look like a genius when these guys play out. I'd be lying if I said I knew a lot about that player because I don't know a whole lot about him. So I can't really. I don't want to speak on it.
One thing I can say, Deion Sanders has personally commended his game at the combine. So just keep that in mind. At the combine also too, Darnay Holmes from UCLA, they actually as well, they train with the same people, and they actually Deion Sanders said the same things about those two of the best guys at the combine. So you got to keep those things in mind as well too.
All right.
Again, I agree. I think he's a player. I just too rich. That's all.
Hey, if Deion Sanders said it, then he has to be a baller. He has to be a first overall pick, man. Come on.
We all respect Deion, but Deion talks a lot, man. We all know that too.
Love it. All right, let's get to our next pick. We got the Dolphins on the clock. Mr. Tom, you are on the clock. We're ready for you. Who you got here? I'm working on your camera right now, so apologize for everybody that only see him small, so we're working on that right now. But Tom, you got the Dolphins. Who you got?
All right, well, the Dolphins got their quarterback. They got an offensive lineman. Next biggest glaring need, in my opinion, is a running back, so you got to take the best one, Jonathan Taylor out of Wisconsin. Okay. I just don't think there's no downside to Jonathan Taylor's game. It might be a little high for a running back. I know they don't go too high in these drafts anymore, but I think he's clearly the best one, and I think it's clearly a need for Miami. So I go Jonathan Taylor, running back, Wisconsin.
I like it. I do like it. I think it's a little rich. I want to hear from Ray though, because that's his team.
Well, I love Jonathan Taylor. I think that I prefer Miami address the offensive line still, and then take a running back. There's 3 or 4 really good, actually 5 good running backs in this draft, where you probably can get one of the 5 or one of the 4. In case one of them do get picked at the end of this round. I don't think they will now. But I like DeAndre Swift probably more than all of them. But it's just that you could take him, Dobbins, or Swift and with that pick, and I'd be okay with that. But I'd rather take another lineman or a defensive player and maybe wait till the running back to the second round. But I love Jonathan Taylor. If Miami winds up with him, he's going to play, and he's going to play well, so I'm good.
LaMarcus, what do you think?
Yeah, I would go ahead. I would take an offensive lineman at this pick.
Yeah.
Just because of Tua, like that last pick with who was it? It was
Becton.
Becton, exactly. So I'll take another guy just to continue bringing in some young guys around the same age and then get that line shared up early on into his career.
I mean, one guy I would think about right there is Josh Jones from Houston. I think if you put Becton at right tackle and Josh Jones at left tackle, you're going to really be able to protect Tua pretty well right there. So that's probably where I would have went.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
but again, Jonathan Taylor's going to play, and he's going to play well. So, whatever.
All right. So I'm on the clock right now, and I'm going to pick a guy that I think is going to be very beneficial for the Seahawks, mainly because they just lost. They just lost, not really lost, but they don't have their pass rusher that right now he's asking for a lot of money. He definitely could re-sign with the team, but this guy is kind of dropping in the draft. I think this would be a perfect spot for him. I'm going to go Yetur Gross-Matos for the Seahawks right here. LaMarcus, what do you think?
That name is hard to pronounce. I don't know much about this guy.
You're not from this area, that's why. But yeah, he's a Penn State guy, outside linebacker. Edge rusher. Ray, what do you think about this?
I like Matos. I think it's a good, solid pick. He'll play pretty well.
Yeah, honestly,
solid pick.
I didn't think he's gonna fall this far. Tom, what do you think about this? Obviously, we know a lot about him being in that same conference. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I watched a lot of him. He's very disruptive on the game, on the opposing offensive line, and anybody trying to get in his way. And plus, if they lose Clowney, they need a pass rusher. So he was the next, for me, the obvious choice for that position.
I agree. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, Ray, you are on the clock, and you got the Baltimore Ravens. We got some Baltimore Raven fans in the chat room. I know Mr. Darren Braxton, he's on Inside the Hashes. He loves the Ravens, so don't mess his pick up for him because he will be so sad.
Well, I have the Ravens' number one need as a linebacker, and I thought about taking Patrick Queen, but I'm not as big on Patrick Queen as other people are. I think he's a good player. I don't think he's a great tackler. I think he's more of an athletic guy who will get there and helps out more. I think Patrick Queen is a good player, but honestly, I'm going to take Cesar Ruiz from Michigan, interior offensive lineman. He's my guy. He's another guy that I would have thought taken if I was in Miami. Because Miami needs guards and a center too. And I love Ruiz. I think he's the best interior lineman in the draft. And believe me, he's a Michigan guy, so I don't really love saying that. But, I have. Yeah. And you know what? You know what I just thought about? If anybody was going to take Kyle Duggar in the first round, it was going to be the Seattle Seahawks. Okay, man? All right? So.
I do like that pick a lot now that you say that. So Kyle Duggar.
Because Seattle is the one team that if you watch the draft, Seattle always takes guys, and they always usually pick good players, but they just take them out of order. It seems like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I got Avery in here asking me really like, what did I do? What did I do? What did I do? Anyway, Lamarcus, what do you think about the pick?
I would take a edge rusher right here. I think an edge rusher would be a good pick right here. I like Terrell Lewis right here.
All right, let's move along to number 29. That would be me. I got the Titans. What I'm gonna do with the Titans, I don't know right now. I don't know what is going on with. Oh man, we having some camera issues with my guy over here, Tom. Let me fix him up real quick. There you go. There you go, Tom. There we go. We got you fixed, man. We got you fixed. All right. Anyway, I got the Titans. In my bloggers mock draft, I got them a edge rusher. There's one that I'm kind of eyeing right here. And I think I picked them before, and I did. Yes, I'm gonna pick them again. I'm going AJ Espinosa again. Don't know why he fell this far down. I think in the beginning of the year he was one of the top edge rushers. I love him for the Titans right now. I think they would endure him. Ray, what do you think about that pick?
I think it's a great pick. I have Epineza as my second edge player in the draft. We know why he fell in the draft. He didn't run fast. He was like a 5 even guy. But as far as hand usage, moving guys out of his way, making plays against the run, getting to the quarterback, Epineza is my guy. I love the kid. So,
yeah, Tom, what do you think?
Yeah, I like the position for them. It came down to Terrell Lewis out of Alabama or EJ Epinesa, so I don't think you could have went wrong with either one of them. I'm a Big Ten guy, so I'll prefer Epinesa because of how dominant he was in the Big Ten for so long. But edge rusher is a need, and he was one of the 2 best ones left, so I think it was a good pick.
And LaMarcus?
Another pick. I would have took him higher. I would have took him at 28 with Baltimore.
So you would have flip-flopped the picks?
Yeah, definitely.
Gotcha. All right. Well, LaMarcus, you are on the clock. And who are you picking there?
All right, so for this one, I'm going to take my full minute. Okay. I'm thinking between 2 positions. Green Bay, they need receiver. They need running back. They need a inside linebacker. I think right here,
got a lot of choices, man.
I know.
Dudes are falling. I wonder why guys are falling, because you got freaking 3rd round picks in the 1st round.
I'm going to best football players.
Well, Marcus, you can do it. We believe in you.
Hey. Oh man, no guys standing out to me. I made my guys. I had my guys that I was like, okay, confident on this one, confident. I would go with let's go with Michael Pittman. Let's go with Michael Pittman from USC. I'll take Michael Pittman from USC. I think as a receiver that they need a big time receiver. I think with Devontae Adams already over there, he's a route runner. I think he's getting up there in age a little bit though, and I think bringing another young guy. I think Michael Pittman's a good receiver, big guy. He didn't play at the Senior Bowl, but from his tape, solid plays in the passing conference where he's used to catching the ball. He's used to running every route on the tree, and I think putting him in there, he'll fit in the offense well.
Tom, what do you think about that pick?
Yeah, I mean, wide receiver, Aaron Rodgers needs weapons. I mean, like LaMarcus said, you got Devontae Adams and then crickets. So there's a clump of wide receivers: Pittman, Higgins, Chenault. He could have said any one of those names, and I would have been good with it because I just think it's a need. So I'm good with that one.
All right, and Ray.
I think it's a neat position. I'm not as big a Pittman on as other people are. I think he's a possession guy. I think he's a solid guy. I'm worried about one real good year of productive football in college. Seemed like the first couple of years he kind of just went through the motions, and then his senior year he decides, I'm going to play football this year. Again, I think he's got an upside. I think he'll develop into a player, but I have one good year of football from him, so I probably wouldn't have taken him in the first round. That's all.
That's fair.
Coming into the Senior Bowl, I was very excited to see him at the Senior Bowl. I was disappointed that he couldn't play, but and I think he's one of those high risers. He's rising up in the draft now. At first, he was like a fourth or third round. I'm starting to see him in the second round now. I don't think this is a good pick, though. I like him a lot. I think you could have got more value with some of the other receivers. You got T. Higgins still out there. Rager still out there. I think Rager actually fits the Green Bay Packers a little bit more right now. Also, USC wide receivers. I don't trust them. I'm sorry.
That's my other thing. I don't trust
Marquise
USC, period.
Marquise Lee, Nelson Aguilar. Oh man, I could go down a list. Like I do not
feel like those guys don't make plays. Like when those guys are healthy and they play, they make plays. Like they're guys, they're ballers.
Yeah, but they never pan out for some reason. I just don't know why. USC receivers just don't.
Nelson Aguilar has made countless plays for the.
No, he has, and I appreciate him because the best year he had was the year that the Eagles won the Super Bowl, which is very important, and I'm very grateful for him. But after that 1 year, like Ray saying, 1 year, he didn't do nothing. Like he every time there was a big play, he just didn't come up. And
if he would have played good football last year, the Eagles would have won 11 games instead of 9.
Yeah, I agree. All right, we're moving along with our last couple of picks. We got
San
Francisco with Tom. I'm trying to fix Tom's camera. I gotta keep fixing it now. All right, Tom, you are on a clock. Who you picking with the San Fran? Your last pick of the night.
All right, so 49ers, obviously they're best team in the NFC, right? So they're stacked all across the board. I believe you can't ever have too many good offensive linemen. I'll take Josh Jones out of the University of Houston. Can always have, if he is not an immediate starter, he'll be starting in the next year or two. So I think he's the best offensive lineman left on the board, and I can't think you could ever have too many of them. So just add depth to the 49ers.
I like it. I mean, solid pick.
Agreed. I think that anytime you're not sure what position to take an offensive lineman because you'll never have enough of them. Never.
No.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think, LaMarcus?
Like I said, lineman, San Fran. Let's get that guy. Let's get that guy a ring.
Let's get him a ring.
I mean, I like Josh Jones. I think that, and honestly, if he could sit on the bench for a year, improve his core strength, and the kid is a good athlete, I think he's going to be a really good player. I do think he needs to get a little bit stronger, though, because he does get pushed around by guys with heavy hands a little bit,
Definitely. I think this is like, they kept talking about him pushing it into the first round. I do think this first round is going to have a lot of offensive linemen. It could be him. I could be the other guy I was looking at, Isaiah Wilson. I'm starting to hear him in the first round a little bit. Who's the other guy, I think? Ezra Cleveland. He was one of them that could jump in there. Some people think Austin Jackson should be in there. So there's some offensive linemen that, in the late first round that might get put in there. I mean, you never know. I know I keep seeing different mock drafts that have a different one each time at the end of the first round. So we'll see. I think it's a solid pick, though, for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, and then we're gonna close the night off with Ray. He got the Chiefs. Ray, who you picking for the Chiefs in the last draft of the 2020 mock draft?
I have the guy who is my 2A, 2B cornerback. I have AJ Terrell from Clemson. Big physical press corner. I like this kid, and I think that's a perfect fit for him with Kansas City. So,
Wow. LaMarcus, what do you think?
AJ Terrell's a solid guy. I like him. I don't think he's better than my guy, but he's solid corner. He's a big guy. Played in a big conference, for a national champion. So you got to give him credit there for sure.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but LaMarcus levels went down after we criticized his pick a little bit, man. I know you love Butler, man. Tom, what do you think about that pick?
I don't think he'll be there, but I think if he's there when the Chiefs pick, they'll be skipping up to the podium just because I think he'll be going before them. But the fact that he fell there is great. It makes sense. It's a position of need. It's another position you can't have too many of, corners, outside, inside. So stack them up. Chiefs don't have many weaknesses.
I thought about, honestly, I thought the Eagles with AJ Terrell at 21 would have been a really nice pick for them because they need cornerback depth, and I like him, especially as a press corner, a guy that can come up and be physical with guys. I love AJ Terrell. Honestly, I think he's the second best corner in the draft. I just thought he fits the system better there than other guys for that. That's all. So.
Wow, definitely. Yeah, I like the pick. I love the pick. I just can't imagine. It's not that I can't imagine, but the Chiefs having DeAndre Swift on that offense with all that all those.
Cameron Wake. I mean, it don't matter. You take any of them guys, and they're going to be really good in that offense.
I agree.
That speed outside, man. Then defensive backs, they play off the line 20 yards. Every one of them, they have to, because if not, these guys will blow right by them.
Yep, and then you're giving that running back those running lanes, and you compare him with Damian Williams, so you don't have to worry about all the wear and tear on him as well. Oh my goodness, that would be insane.
Remember when the Eagles had Brian Westbrook and they had T.O.? That little dump off pass, that was 30 yards.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this guy, no matter what running back Kansas City puts in that system, as long as it's a plus guy, they're going to be the same way, man. They're going to be running free.
Yeah. And that's why, I think if the Chiefs really think about that, it's going to be insane. I think they can still get a good cornerback in the second round. I think they have a second round pick. I don't remember. But if they can go without one in the first round, get that playmaker, the defense will be okay without that corner right away. You get what I'm saying? If that offense is that explosive.
I think that it's a way deeper draft for running backs than corners, though.
No, I agree.
Corners,
I do agree with that.
It's a big drop off after that.
I agree with that. So
running back is anywhere from round 1 to 3, you're going to get a pretty good guy
for sure. Yeah. So yeah, we have a couple of guys that you good? All right, we have a couple. Yeah, I know. All right, so we got a couple of guys. I don't even know if this is going right now. You probably only can hear me right now, so I apologize, guys, if you're only hearing me. But real quick, if you guys can let me know who in the first round should have been picked in this draft. Hold on, I think it's looking like I'm the only one that can hear right now. So give me a second. I'm gonna cut you guys off. All right, somebody say something. Okay. All right. Well, I'm not sure if they can hear you, but because I don't see the levels going. But let's just go right into this, and hopefully they can hear you. All right. So first round drop offs. Anybody that didn't go in the first round, we got Xavier McKinney, we got DeAndre Swift, we got Jeff Gladney, we got Zach Bond, We got Denzel Mims. We got Patrick Queen. We got Rager, Blacklock, Ezra Cleveland, T. Higgins. Some people think he should be in the first round. Let's see, anybody else? Some people think Trayvon Diggs should be in the first round. Who you guys think should have been in the first round? I'm gonna start with LaMarcus. Go ahead.
I think that running back. I'm gonna go with running back. I think that KJ Dobbins should have been selected in the first. I think he could have been interchangeable in there. Not a lot of running backs went, but I think KJ Dobbins should have probably been in the first.
Okay. Ray, what do you think?
I don't know if anybody should go in the first round because the draft is a monopoly, dude. We don't know exactly, but I think the guys that I think will probably is Patrick Queen will probably go. I think McKinney will probably go to a team that needs a safety. I wouldn't take T. Higgins in the first round, but most mock drafts have him going in the first round. Jalen Rager could go in the first round, especially when you see the top four wide receivers go. I think he's like my next guy after them four guys. Especially if you run a West Coast type system, I think Jalen Rager could be an exceptional player in a system like that. Austin Jackson may go as one of the other tackles that maybe someone reaches for. I wouldn't take him in the end of the first round, but again, a lot of mock drafts have him going like end of first round, along with Josh Jones, basically. So
definitely. And Tom, who you think should have been in the first round?
Well, Ray hacked my mind a little bit. I don't know if these guys should have gone, but some guys, he kind of covered almost everybody I thought could go. The only one that anybody left off was maybe Zach Ball, the linebacker out of Wisconsin. If somebody took him in the first round, that would not surprise me. But again, McKinney, Rigger, the names you guys all said, I don't want to repeat them, but I could see a lot of those guys getting picked in the first round.
Yeah. For me, like Tom said, I like Zach Bond. He's been in our conference. He tore us up. I think he should have been in at least at the end of the first round. I really do like him. Me and Ray talked about that before. Patrick Queen was definitely a surprise that he didn't go in the first round for me. I really thought he was going to. Everybody else was kind of like fringe first round picks for me.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really surprised on any of them. Xavier Kenny, I was kind of surprised too. There was a lot of other safeties that went, and I thought he could have been in there.
Yeah, McKinney will definitely get drafted in the first round. Somebody will take him.
Yeah, or at least very very early second. I mean, if at worst. I do think we was right with the tackles though. I do think there's going to be a run on tackles. I think it's going to be all over the map though. We could see 4 tackles picked in this back to back, which is going to be insane. So I really do think that's a possibility as well. So guys, thank you so much for checking out our mock draft. I know right now our cameras are frozen except LaMarcus for some reason. He's the only one that's not frozen. But guys, thank you so much. It was definitely a pleasure. It was a lot of fun doing this, guys. We're so excited about tomorrow's draft and we're going to see who's going to get some of these right. I mean, chances are none of us get any of them right, but we'll see. I mean, if it happens, maybe we'll jump. All right, stop, LaMarcus.
The first 2 picks will probably be right. And then after that, it's whatever happens.
So you're saying I'm guaranteed to have one right?
For a change, yes.
But yeah, hopefully I'm not right because I don't want him to go to the Redskins. But guys, thank you. Appreciate everybody coming on. Thank you so much, Tom. Thank you for getting on. LaMarcus, you're the man. I appreciate you getting on. Ray,
thank you for having me.
No problem. Ray, it's always a pleasure. I always love having you on our RPO podcast. Thank you guys so much. We are going to be back on regular schedule next week with our PO podcast, and the Area podcast will be on regular time next week on Thursday. So shout out to the Area podcast as well. Thank you guys for listening to us through all this. It's been almost 2 hours now. So just always having fun, guys. You enjoy your draft day. Get your mind off the quarantine and stuff like that. Just get away. Got some type of sports event going on. We all happy about this. So please make sure you go out, be safe, watch the draft, have fun. Ray, please don't hurt nobody when they don't pick somebody right, please, because Ray is very nervous right now. So we're gonna be checking on Ray all weekend as well. So.
If they do as well as Tom did, I'll be all right.
Hey, Tom did very well. I know you like.
Hey, well, my pick would be great. I don't care. I don't even remember who we picked for the other teams, but he did good with mine, so I'm good. Yeah.
There you go. Well, I'm your home host, Jerome Jones. Guys, make sure you check us out on InsideTheHatches.com, where you can find all our content on there. We have player interviews with a lot of these players that we talked about. We interviewed two of them. LaMarcus drafted. We interviewed, which I didn't think he was going on first round, but hey, I like the guys, so you never know. So I think in this mock draft we picked like 4 guys that we interviewed, which is cool. But yeah, we interviewed a lot of these players, so make sure you check that out on InsideTheHatches.com. You can also find that on Spotify, on SoundCloud, and Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. So make sure you check in all that out. We also have Inside the Hatches, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. So if you have somebody on here, or you know somebody that would love to check us out, please have them check us out on here and sharing all our content, sharing all our videos, and share this video. This video will be up later on, so you guys can come and watch it again later on. So thank you guys once again. We are out. We are ready for this draft, and we can't wait. So you guys have a great night, and have a blessed one. Peace.
Later.
Later.